Good morning. Next weekend, I am going to a tournament. Jan Petersen's book, Bring Your Guns to Odense's tournament. It's it takes place on Fyn. It's a 2-day tournament, um, and it's a team tournament. We hope. We're lacking one team, so it might there might be late changes to the pack if we're still lacking a whole team. It's a 3-man tournament. I am bringing my A game with the WTC team. And this is a list review for one of the lists for that tournament. It's a version 2 Lorenzo's Italian fan fiction rules for Italy that are actually much more reasonable than the real thing. So they have been allowed for this tournament, and I think that you should definitely consider doing that for your tournaments. Before I go and show you the list itself, I wanted to show you the army. The army has actually been featured recently on the Bold Action Facebook groups, because this is from Kaspar, and he's been kind enough to show us some of his work. He paints really well. He's a commission painter here in Denmark, and this is his army. This is his Italian Eastern Front army. He is an Italy fanboy at heart. He also had a little hand in Lorenzo's version 2 rules, so he really likes his Italians, and this is his army. You may have seen it on Facebook because he has made this really nice movement tray where each of his men has a very specific spot where it says this is the loader for the mortar team. Everything is just very fixed, so he can place once they die, they don't just go in a box. He knows exactly where they go, so he knows all the time where all his stuff is. A really cool and interesting idea. And also note, he has noted down every one of his NCOs with a ring here. Not only is Kaspar an all-round nice guy, he's also kind of a cool hobbyist and a cool painter as well. A little bit of a rivet counter and an Italy fanboy, and as such, he and I are at odds about that, but I really like him. He's a good friend, and he has been featured on this channel more than once. So, right, let's go and by the way, you know what he's bringing, because Italians and many of the missions that we're going to play has attacker defender. Of course, he's going to bring some defensive lines, which is cool. He brings his own hardcover. Really cool. Right, let's go and watch the army list. It's here. It is the Eastern Front, and Kaspar himself calls it the Make Italy Great for Once list. It has 13 order dice, which is in the low end, but not critically low. 997 points. That's a pity, Kaspar, that you couldn't just stick an extra SMG in somewhere. He is bringing a lieutenant, second lieutenant, and I think that lieutenant, I already know a little bit about what this is going to do. I think he's going to stick in a truck somewhere for that extra morale bonus to come onto the table. Then he has 2 backline holders or skirmish units. These are regular men. They are 7-men riflemen. And he has armed them with anti-tank grenades. Kaspar does this because he expects there to be a lot of tanks, especially maybe light tanks at this event, and I think he's right. So these may actually be useful. Normally I would not want to take anti-tank grenades, but with the Italian special rules for they get like what was it, tough fighter or something, they get extra dice in close combat with anti-tank grenades when they're fighting a tank, so these might actually be worth it, and a little bit dangerous to tanks. I'm going to have to stay away from them. And then he has a black shirts battalion. They are fanatics. They have 3 SMGs, 4 SMGs with the NCO. So they are a push unit, a really good push unit, and very, very dangerous. Fanatics with Tough Fighter is a dangerous combo. I think they are going to go in a truck. We just saw 2 trucks on his board there. I think they're going to go into one of them because these guys really benefit from having a little bit of transport. 7-man unit again. A Guastatore destruction group. And he has a pistol, so he has Tough Fighter, the NCO here. Then we have 3 riflemen and double flamethrowers. This is what the Guastatores can do. Double flamethrowers. That is terrifying. That actually ensures an almost certain kill on anything that they go against, because at least one of the flamethrowers will hit. And if 2 of them hit, everything dies. There's nothing that can survive that. And then he has a Guastatore support group. This one is the only one that I don't necessarily think is worth it, but it can do something really nifty. He downgrades all his infantry to pistols, which is cool because he's not going to need that. Then he buys an LMG, which is overcosted, everyone agrees, but this is going to go in his back lines, so he can reach out with that LMG, and it's the only weapon that he needs to reach out with. One weapon to deliver pins, and then a light mortar that can sit and shoot indirectly. My one caveat here is, because this is a nifty unit, I think it's a little bit overcosted. It's still only 5-man regular at 1,000 points, so it's twice as expensive as 5 regulars with rifles. However, it's very optimized for what it does, isn't it? The light mortar does only have 24-inch range, which is a pity, but hey, can't get everything. Then he brings a medium mortar team, inexperienced, saving the points. I love this. It's really strong. An anti-tank rifle. I think this is a good way to reach out again, deliver pins, threaten soft-skinned vehicles, threaten a tank with a pin. Really cool. You can own a 75. This is a it can be shot as an anti-tank gun or a light howitzer, so it's really useful. Again, he makes certain that he has several options to shoot at long range, and that he has HE as well. And then the L6, which has a turret-mounted light autocannon. This is a really good one. And a Semoventi 47. This is an A+ tank. It's vulnerable, it has open topped, but it's got recce, and it has a light anti-tank gun and a pintle-mounted MMG. So this is a fairly cheap tank hunter-ish. I do think that 120 points for something that is open-topped is overcosted, but Kaspar is making sure that both of his units here, both his tanks have recce, so he can sit and use cover going back and forth if something threatens him. This Semoventi really would like a lieutenant to stay nearby. So Kaspar, if you're not sticking your lieutenant into those trucks to come on from outflank or from reserves, I think he should go near the Semoventi, but you know this. Then the 2 trucks, they are there to transport his push infantry, but they are large enough that he can stick several units into them because they are 12-man capacity. So the Guastatores can go in one. Both of the Guastatores can actually fit into one, or you can put the Guastatore and the destruction group into one truck if he wants to push one section of the battlefield. So he has a lot of options here. Really nice list, Kaspar. I look forward to seeing you. I know that he has already defeated one of my WTC players with this list, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this works out, and I'm also looking forward to seeing how Lorenzo's version 2 rules actually compete on the battlefield with all the filth that is the Soviet Union and British and all of that. Right. Thank you so much. That was it. Cheers.